Hello friends, welcome to everyday daily MCQ practice. So today we'll discuss the important news that can be asked for prelims exam 2024. So we'll start with the questions. So the first question is, consider the following statements. An endangered language is one that is likely to become extinct in the near future. So the question says, talks about the endangered languages. So question is talking about the endangered languages. It is saying that it will become extinct in the near future, okay? And then it talks about at present around 96% of the world's languages are spoken only by 30% population. So an endangered language is a language where the number of people who are native speakers keep on decreasing. So if the number of native speakers keep on decreasing, what happens to the language? So the language will go extinct. So even if you don't know the concept, you can guess or you can try to have an intuition based on the concept of endangered species in environment. So in environment also we have the concept of endangered species. So from that you can have an understanding of what is an endangered language. So basically endangered language is a language where the number of speakers are reducing. So this is the first option is correct. And the second option says, at present around 96% of the world languages are spoken by only 30% of the people. Again, this statement is wrong because in the world 96% of the world's languages are spoken only by 3% of population, not by 30. So how do you remember this fact? Because remembering these facts is not easy. So you can understand by logic. So that only 3% speak the 96% languages, whereas the remaining 4% of languages are spoken by 97% of world. So you can try to guess or you can try the natural opposite. So if you negate the statement, so when you don't know what is the correct explanation, what you do, you will create the negative statement of the given statement to understand its impact. So from creating the negative statement that only the 4% of languages will be spoken by 97% of the world, which is correct because English, Chinese and Hindi have been a very dominant language which is spoken by, because if you combine the English speakers, the Chinese speakers and the Hindi speakers, they themselves constitute around 50% of the world. So this option makes sense because only 4% of the language, a small minority of the languages constitute the bigger speaking population, whereas the large tribal languages which are very diverse are spoken by very less number of people. So that is, the second option is wrong. The third option, various estimates suggest that at least 50 to 90% of today's spoken languages will be extinct or seriously endangered by 2100. Again, this is a correct statement because the rate at which we are adopting English or the rate at which the local languages are disappearing. So this will make the statement correct. The third one, the fourth statement is, the United Nations declared 2015 to 2025 as the International Decade of Indigenous Languages. Again, this is wrong because the resolution has been passed only in the last year for 2022 to 2032 as a decade of indigenous languages. So one option that is not given here is that 9th August has been declared as World's Indigenous Language Day. So World's Indigenous Language Day. So World's Indigenous Language Day has been declared on 9th August. So that also can be asked. So because of the Bangladesh liberation. So because the Bangladesh got liberated on the issue of language, so they wanted to have Bengali, whereas the West Pakistan wanted to have Urdu. So based on that, the Bangladesh liberation happened. So the 9th August is declared as the International Indigenous Language Day. So we'll move on to the next question. So this article came up. So why did we pick up this question? Because this is the context of the article. So you should always understand what kind of news. So when you are reading newspaper, you will come across a lot of topics, but what to read, so what not to read. So that is what we are trying to predict here. So the next step is, so the next question, with reference to Post Office Act 2013, consider the following statements. So why is this in use? So because of this article, So Post Office Act and its unbridled powers of interception. So this is an article that we have taken from the Hindu. So today's article in the Hindu. So we need to look into the Post Office Act that has been recently signed into bill by the President. So bill has become act. Now that will become important in context of UPSC. So let's see the options. The first option says the act allows interception of an article being transmitted through post on certain grounds by the central government, state government, or any other specially authority authorized by them. So in this statement they are saying that this act is allowing interception of an article being transmitted through post on certain grounds by central government, state government, or any officer. So again this is wrong because it is only done by the central government. Second one, the grounds for such interception include occurrence of public emergency or in the interest of public safety or tranquility. Again this is wrong because these are not the grounds, these are the old grounds. So option has given the old grounds, whereas the new grounds include new act prescribes national security, relation with friendly countries, as criteria. So again this will become wrong. So the option which is correct is neither one nor two. So with reference to India Middle East Economic Corridor or IMEC. So IMEC has been recently signed when in the G20 summit. So in the G20 summit IMEC has been signed. So let's see which of the following countries are not part of the IMEC corridor. So if you see the IMEC corridor, so again this has come in the news, so in the Hindu, so it is there in the Hindu. So if you see the IMEC corridor, it runs from India to if you see the IMEC corridor, so if you draw the Asia map, so the IMEC corridor runs along the line of joining India to Middle East. So it joins from India to Middle East, going all the way. The next question is, with reference to India Middle East Economic Corridor, IMEC consider the following statements. So in the statement, the countries are given. So if you recall, IMEC is the initiative that has been taken up by G20 countries. So the G20 countries have taken up the IMEC initiative. So in that, it is basically connecting India to Middle East and to European Economic Union. So what are the countries that are part of it? First option is Saudi Arabia. Yes, Saudi Arabia is a partner. Next one is USA. Yes, USA is a partner. Next one is France, UAE, Germany, European Union. So all are part of IMEC countries. So we can mark all 6 as answer. India, Middle East Economic Corridor. So the next question is, consider the following statements. Responsible antibiotic usage has resulted in low antibiotic resistance in India. So if you see the question itself is kind of oxymoron. So we call such kind of questions oxymoron. So oxymoron means meaningless. That is like, saying like good sin. So there is nothing like good sin, because if it is sin, it is not good. If it is good, it's not a sin. So similarly, if somebody is using responsibly, why will it create low antibiotic resistance in India? So we'll see the next question. So in this question, consider the following statements. Statement 1 says responsible antibiotic usage has resulted in low antibiotic resistance in India, which sounds true, but the problem is India is one of the country which is having very high antibiotic resistance. So antibiotic resistance is very high in India. So because of which we will have this statement to be wrong. So in the second statement is about 59% of the total antibiotic consumption in the country in 2022 was from the watch group. So what is this watch group? So in India, so these antibiotics are classified into 3 classes. One is an access group, second one is watch, third one is restricted. Access is safe to access, safe to use. So generally they are also called as over-counter drugs. Whereas watch group is restricted by prescription, prescribed only to prescribed users. Whereas restricted drugs are highly restricted. These are highly restricted and not prescribed unless they are very much needed. So in India also, we follow the WHO standards. So these are WHO standards. So in India, we follow under drugs and cosmetic rules. So we follow drugs and cosmetic rules. A similar classification, that is over-the-counter drugs and prescribed drugs or H-class drugs. So these are called as H-class, and restricted drugs, these are called as X-class. So this is something we should know because we have adapted a similar standard to WHO and we have prescribed this under drugs and cosmetic rules of India. So we'll come back to the question. The question is, first statement is wrong, the second statement is correct, because in India, even though we should not be using antibiotics from the watch group indiscriminately, so in India there is not much oversight regarding this. So we are able to access this watch group drugs without any discrimination. So that is the reason why second statement is correct. So one is correct, two is not correct. So one is incorrect and second is correct. So this will be the answer because India has high antibiotic resistance. And in the next statement, so this is the context of the news. India among nations overusing watch group antibiotics. So with reference to India-Bangladesh relations, consider the following statements. Bangladesh is India's biggest trade partner, which is not right because it is not Bangladesh, it is China. So China is India's biggest trade partner in Asia, and India is biggest trade partner, second biggest trade partner of Bangladesh in Asia, which is again correct. So this statement is correct, whereas this part is wrong. So which makes the whole statement wrong, because in a statement, if there are two sub statements, even if one of them is wrong, both of them will be wrong. The second one is the fifth renovated rail line between India and Bangladesh, Haldibari Chilahati, was operationalized in 2021. Again, this statement is correct. Third one, during 2022, the second highest percentage of foreign tourist arrival in India was from Bangladesh with a share of little over 20%. Again, this is also true because we get a lot of tourists from Bangladesh. So 2 and 3 are correct. So in the sixth statement, so the Kala Ram Mandir, Lebakshi Temple, Ramanatha Swami Temple and Sri Ramaswamy Temple. So all these are in news because recently the Prime Minister has visited all of them. So due to the Prime Minister visit, so these temples are in use. The first one is Kala Ram Mandir. So it is in Maharashtra, that is correct option. The second one is Lebakshi Temple. So it's not in Telangana but in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So again this is wrong option. So Ramanatha Swami Temple, it is in Kerala. So again that is not correct because it is in Tamil Nadu. whereas Sri Ramaswamy temple, again it is given Tamil Nadu, but it is in Kerala. So out of all this, only one is correct. So the answer will be 1 correct. So the next question is, so with respect to Nisar mission, which of the following is not correct? So here students should note that, so the question is saying not correct, not. So not should be important word of discussion. The first is Nisar was launched in 2022, is a radar satellite from NASA and the ISRO. Again, everything is correct except this. So because this has not launched yet, so this is not launched. So this make the whole statement correct. But whereas Nisar is a joint collaboration between ISRO and NASA. Second one, it will measure Earth's changing ecosystem, dynamic surfaces and ice masses, providing information about biomass, natural hazards, sea level rise and groundwater. Again, this is correct. Third one, Nisar is the first satellite mission to collect radar data in 2 microwave bandwidths called L band and the S band to measure changes including movements as small as centimeter. Again, this is also correct. The fourth one is synthetic aperture radar used penetrates clouds and darkness, enabling Nisar to collect data day and night in any weather. Again, this is also correct. So the question says not correct statement. So the only not correct statement is A. So this will be the answer. So which of the following best describes the Pemba effect? So Pemba effect, it is a phenomena. Because why are we reading this? Because it is in news. So what is the context of the news? So it is given as the Pemba effect. So heat up to cool down. So Pemba effect says that if you want to make water freeze, so to freeze water, so if you compare hot water and normal temperature water, so Pemba effect is a phenomenon that hot water freezes faster compared to normal temperature water. So this phenomenon is called as Pemba effect. So what is the option? So the option is hot water may freeze faster than the cold water in similar conditions. Again, this is the explanation. So why is this happening? So this is happening because the hot water have a lot of energy where the heat is circulated at a faster rate. So due to faster heat circulation, we are having a faster freezing period. So this is the answer. And the next question. So with reference to mosquito fish, again this mosquito fish is an innovative strategy. So it is an innovative strategy to control the population of mosquitoes in the area. The first statement says in 1928 mosquito fish was first introduced in India during British rule to feed mosquito larvae. Again, this is also correct because the Britishers were the first to introduce mosquito fish in India. They are notorious for the detrimental ecological impact. So these fish, although they have a benefit of eating the mosquito, they also have the disadvantage of destroying the local ecosystems. So local ecosystems are destroyed due to this fish. So that will have detrimental impact. Third one is in 2018, the National Biodiversity Authority of the Government of India banned introduction of mosquito fish in water bodies as a mosquito control agent. Again, this is not correct because even now the government of Andhra Pradesh is considering the introduction of mosquito fish as a way to control the mosquitoes. So in this statement, so the first one is correct, the second one is correct. So only 2 will be the correct answer. So consider the following statements by WTO appellate body. The first one is the appellate body was established in 2001 under the Bali package. Again, this statement is not correct because the WTO appellate body is established under 1995. So 1995 rules. So the first statement is not correct. Second, the appellate body has its seat in Doha, Qatar. again this is also wrong because it has a seat in Geneva, Switzerland. So the third statement, it is a standing body of 7 persons that here appeals from reports issued by panels in disputes brought to WHO members. Again this is correct. Currently, the appellate body is unable to review appeals given to its ongoing vacancies as a term of the last sitting appellate body members expired in November 2020. Again, this statement is correct because US is refusing to fill the vacancy given to it unless this member, so there are 7 members, even if 1 member is vacant, it cannot function. So due to the vacancy arising from the US non-fulfillment, so here we have a vacancy. So this is correct. So the statement is 3 and 4 are correct. So this is how the answer. So this initiative is an example for you to identify and mark the correct answer rightly. So I hope this initiative has been helpful. Thank you.